Yes, a traumatic time at Hawthorn, and their fans' expectations would be pretty low for today's clash with their great rivals from the 80s, the Bombers. They are struggling. Lloyd obviously going to be one of their headaches.
He's averaged almost four goals a game this year. Big job for Danny Jacobs, of course, up against his old side. Jacobs has been serviceable, I think, for the Hawks, but a big job on Matthew Lloyd.
Certainly is. And talk about big jobs, who's going to have it on Hurd?
Well, probably Beaumont or even Joel Smith could get the job. James Hurd is just such a fantastic player, as we all know. We don't really say too much. A key part in the Essendon side.
Yeah, talent on every line for the Bombers, and their midfield has been in stellar form.
They really have. McPhee and Solomon, particularly McPhee's just been in awesome form. And Luke Hodge, great to see him back, of course, for Hawthorn for this afternoon's match.
Nick Holland did find some form last week, even though they got thrashed.
7 marks and 13 possessions. He showed a bit. He'll need to show even more today if Hawthorn are going to get over the line.
And Johnny Barker back in the lineup. Thompson, as we said, leading the team today at full forward. It's going to be tough against Dustin Fletcher, one of the best in the business.
Absolutely. Nathan Thompson has averaged just 1.5 goals this season, so a big job, but, well, it's all before him and a big challenge for him.
And in the ruck, you mentioned the battle between Everett and Allen, because the Bombers certainly will seem to have the edge at ground level, so Everett's got to give them first use.
And Everett does get the support of Robert Campbell, and Everett's going to be a difficult matchup when he does go forward for the Bombers.
And the bench, as they will start, Williams, Loney, Ladson and Campbell for the Hawks. And for the Bombers, Henneman in the team. Winderlick was a late inclusion for Hill, as we've mentioned, Elvey and Mercedes. So the old rivals of the 80s certainly enjoyed a bit of push and shove. I wonder if we're going to see it this afternoon. Not the greatest of opening bounces. Everett, not unexpectedly, getting first hands on it. And already just a bit of vigour between the two sides as Jason Johnson holds the ball over to Scott Jeffrey to do the honours again in the middle. Plenty of numbers around the ball. You can expect the Hawks to be making lots of contests this afternoon. Paccioni in amongst it. Maybe we're getting an early indication of the tactics of the Hawks.
Well, you'd think they play one-on-one football. Obviously, they fell off their opponents last week, but last week it was also the clangers around the ground that really did hurt them.
And Everett again getting fingernails over the top. Lucas. Campbell Brown giving the Hawks the first chance into attack. Barker, but out-bustled by this Bomber defence, and McPhee had plenty of options, didn't he? Allen pushing, and Rioli on the overlap. Hurd striding out at half forward. Good one-on-one contest to start. Wasn't much of a contest. Hurd playing in front, and he's got runners. Jason Johnson powering forward, and they'll have the first shot at goal for the afternoon.
Well, we just saw how Essendon got players free there. They just scooped out the back. Matthew Allen, Rioli just stayed away from the ball and were able to get the ball over to James Hurd, who's short pass to Jason Johnson.
Let's get to Andrew Marr.
I think there's been an early report. It seemed to be John Barker going into the book then, Hutto, so we'll confirm that for you a bit later.
OK, John Barker there, back in the Hawthorn team this afternoon, but Jason Johnson, whose goal kicking hasn't been a high point for him this year, but it is now. So an indifferent start for the Hawks. Barker perhaps into the book, but a goal into the book for the Bombers.
Yeah, and that's where the Bombers are so good on the rebound. They have very good skills, and of course they keep that forward line wide open for Matthew Lloyd, but it also enables their on-ballers to find the run going in towards their forward line.
Essendon with the first goal of the afternoon here at the MCG. Everett and Allen battle again. Everett decisively. Bateman, now Mitchell. Wobbles it inside attacking 50. Going back Holland. Well done by Bolton. Got a fist in there. McVeigh, Bolton. That was a bit loose. Bolton out on the full under pressure. And the first real opportunity here for the Hawks. Reese has got it at half forward. Uses Bateman. Bangs it long, inside attacking 50. Holland at the back. Well read though by Bolton. He had eyes for the football. Holland just caught out of position, and Bolton uses Mark Johnson. Peverill at half back, making position. The overlap provided by Fletcher towards half forward. Foot race. Love it, Murray. Osborne. Well done by Osborne. Put enough pressure on and got it over the boundary line.
So playing pretty tight around the ground, Sauce, at the moment, aren't they, the Hawks?
Yeah, they're trying to find a direct opponent, and there's no doubt that Peter Schwab would have given that direction to his players throughout the week.
Plenty of hand-waving going on out there. Chance for Murphy, Beaumont. Lucas and Jason Johnson, they're inside 50. Support needed for Jacobs. Everett was there with a chop out, just. And Jacobs now can take it away, but the Bombers have built a barricade along the wing, and so he couldn't just blast it along. He had to in the end. McPhee gleefully accepts it, and already the danger signs are there for the Hawks. They're just a team that they need to be fluent out of defence, Steve, don't they, right from the start of a day, Hawthorn?
Well, they had numbers back, and they couldn't find that forward target.
McPhee a little directionless in the kick. Latz and Osborne was in there. Got some help from Leckis and now Brown. Oh, fumble from Osborne. It led Solomon in. The approach to the footy's been pretty strong for the Hawks, but a free kick, just for a bit of holding on, had already been given away. And second goal opportunity coming up for the Bombers. And it looks like it will be, well, Solomon, is it, going back to take it?
He just, the ball spilt out, and we just see the tackle was followed through. I guess he can be a little bit lucky there, Dean Solomon.
A little bit lucky. So Dean Solomon's kicked 12 goals, 5 for the year. And in very good form. Most of the Bombers midfielders are. And the form continues. They've kicked the first 2.
Yes, and this is a tackle again.
It's opportunity, Steve, just holding him in the tackle for just a fraction too long.
He just sets up so many opportunities, though, Dean Solomon. He's hard nut up forward and creates those spillages, but on that occasion was able to get the free kick and put it through.
First goal to Dean Solomon. He kicked a goal, at least a goal in every one of his last 6 matches, so he's been a strong contributor. Allen this time. Pachoni wrapped up by Jason Johnson. And a secondary bounce and a good start. And Steve, just what Hawthorn didn't need, the Bombers to kick 2 early goals.
Yeah, they'd be hoping for a quick reply here, just for a bit of confidence.
Ramanauskas over the top, into the path with Lovett. Murray just didn't get an accommodating bounce. Pressure from Dixon. Solomon tries to put the arm out and crash through. Can't. We'll get a bounce.
Great little set play there by the Bombers. The ball was just whacked forward from that ball up. There was plenty of space, and they were able to run onto it.
Inside attacking 50. Everett decisively wide of the pack. Peveril couldn't control it. Leckis fighting hard at ground level. Beaumont trying to find a handball through the congestion. Brown diving on the football, but it's very congested. And we'll get a bounce right on attacking 50 for the Bombers. Good start by the Bombers. 2 early goals to Jason Johnson and Dean Solomon. Solomon wins it out. Beaumont well tackled by Mark Johnson. Rioli's been good early. Second chance. Allen around Osborne. Oh, wobbly old kick. Jacobs couldn't control it. Beaumont can. Now he gives it to Jacobs. Now a chance for the Hawks. Barker. Osborne coming from the ground as Barker dangerously kicks towards the lead of Reese, intercepting a good mark taken by Peveril.
So the Hawks falling down again, and Lucas a chance to press here. Laconically just wandering around in the pocket was Nathan Lovett-Murray. Suddenly the ball was coming. Lloyd out to the top of the square and then doubling back. He's got the edge here on Crone all the way, and he just, for a fleeting moment, thought about playing on and ramming it through. But this game all too predictable so far.
Gee, it was a great kick from Lovett-Murray. The depth and penetration he had on that kick just allowed Lloyd to hold his ground, lean into Crode, and the last minute or last second just dropped back. And well, in the end, it was a pretty comfortable mark.
It was, and there was some great protection by James Hurd to allow Lovett-Murray to take the grab also.
It's an interesting decision by Peter Schwab to go with Crode on Lloyd. Sauce, rather than Jacobs.
Yeah, I reckon Jacobs is a little bit loose. I've watched him the last couple of weeks. He does play off his man a bit, and if Lloyd gets that space, he's very dangerous.
Well, here he comes, Lloyd, to ram it through. He's done the job, and they've got 3 on the board in 9 minutes.
And we just see the build-up here. It was Lucas that got the ball over to Lovett Murray. Watch the protection there by James Hird, but a very clever kick by Lovett Murray to allow Lloyd to take the grab.
Brown to Baccioni, and now across to Dixon, who goes off his right foot onto the wing. Parker. Oh! That was, to quote Sandy Roberts from days old, a party trick more than a mark. Good mark taken in the middle by Everett. The kick wasn't so flash, was it? He can get it down to Thompson. He goes very wide and gave the Bombers a chance to zone off. And McPhee and McVeigh combining beautifully out of defence. Lovely delivery from Jason Johnson to Matty Allen, stretching out as he gets to 50. In front of Lloyd, he can attack it. He just slightly misjudged it in the air. Up and under kick, you'll get another chance here after the Lovett Murray effort. And another chance from Lloyd. Feeding. Unlikely error from Mark Johnson. And the bounce would be a pretty happy noise, the sound of the umpire's whistle for the Hawks.
Well, just at the moment, these Hawthorn defenders are under pressure. It went into the Hawthorn forward line once again. The kick wasn't great, but it was rebounded straight out of there.
Towards the boundary line, Lucas, did he keep it in? He did, and went back a long way to set up Murphy, who thought about giving it off to James Hird, but as you can see, Joel Smith never too far away. Now, Murphy would be half a chance from here, perhaps just beyond him.
Oh.
You might make that half chance a full chance. They've got 4.
Yeah, great kick from Justin Murphy, and so it's just at the other end. When Everett had the football, he turned on his left boot. I noticed Nathan Thompson was leading out to the left, so to his right foot, and then had to double back, and by the time he got back, he was outnumbered. So just poor reading of the play.
Yeah,
he knew Everett was going to run onto his left foot.
Lack of understanding. We just saw Justin Murphy kick that goal. That's one of his real assets, is his kicking.
Well, what a kick from Justin Murphy.
And perhaps Hawthorn maybe could have made a better effort on the line.
Massive kick, and margin 26 points already. This is looking very ugly for Hawthorn. Dixon, little fumble. Everett's trying hard. Mitchell scrambles it inside, attacking 50. Here's a chance for Hodge. Barker, who's tried very hard early. Lack of options. Vandenberg. Shocking kick into the pocket. Boundary throw in. It doesn't give your forwards much of a chance.
Well, it doesn't, but I guess if we can get some type of positive, they've got a stoppage in their forward 50, which is probably the first time this quarter.
Last 8 matches, these two clubs, Essendon, the average lead of quarter time's been 18 points, and at half time's been 30 points. So their first halves against Hawthorn have been absolutely sensational. Hird just clears it for the moment. Holland. Now Dixon, can he spot a target inside attacking 50? He can. Barker. John Barker's mark just 20 metres from goal, and he's certainly one player that's at least presented himself this afternoon, Steve.
Well, he has, and coming back into this side after injury, but that's what it does. It just, those stoppages just puts the Essendon players or defenders under a bit of pressure, which they haven't been this quarter.
He can kick the goal, and he should, just to give the Hawks a little bit of confidence. Dear me. You saw it right behind the line of the kick, and that's a bad miss for a side just looking for a bit of impetus and momentum.
At least they're on the board. They are going man on man, hence the huddle for the Bombers. And the leap over the top from McPhee, who continues to entertain each week. Mitchell causes a stoppage, at least in the forward half. Everett and Allen.
And just at the other end of the ground, a change has been made. Jacobs has gone on to Matthew Lloyd.
A whistle and a Bomber free kick taken by Solomon. He's got Lucas, who now has Crow running alongside him. Stolen by Jason Johnson. Here comes Lloyd on a strong lead. He was more concerned about getting rid of the man. It cleared the path for him to get that handball across to Perrill. Now, the Hawks have got the numbers here. Oh, off the boot of Piccioni. Just bouncing before it went over the line. And Lloyd certainly welcoming his old teammate into the battle. Crow forced to do the ruck work here as Everett just stands away from the contest, which is a little puzzling, I've got to say, that Everett would be inside the defensive 50 and not go for the boundary throw-in. Now he'd be in this contest, you would think. Allen down to Rioli.
If you just have a look at all the Essendon players face towards their goal now, they'll run onto the ball. Matthew Allen will try and put it down there.
And here's a chance for Lucas. He spots Solomon. He just couldn't get it to him. Lovett Murray. Loney had him in his clutches. Umpire let it go on. Solomon to Lloyd. And that is tough luck for Danny Jacobs there. Lloyd playing in front though. Hard one to stop.
It is a hard one to stop, but just watch Dean Solomon, his attack. I mean, he kicked it off the ground. I'd just like to see the effort of the Hawthorn player there. Well, he tried to get a boot to it, but clever play by Dean Solomon.
And Matthew Lloyd has the chance to rack up yet another goal. And very ominous warnings for Hawthorn players and fans and coach. Matthew Lloyd would be, I would think at the moment, licking his lips at the prospect of what might lay ahead this afternoon. He's got 2, and Essendon have 5 on the board.
And this is the effort again. The tackle, well, unlucky not to get a free kick there. But we just saw, I'm not too sure who the Hawthorn player in there just sliding in with his boots. I reckon a better effort could have been made there.
Well, Hawthorn are winning the hit-outs 13-5, but that's the only area they even look like winning. Thompson in the ruck, chance for Vandenberg. Can he escape the clutches of Mark Johnson? He gets the handball to Piccioni, kick around the body. Holland fortuitously lands in the arms of Dixon, kicks inside, attacking 50. McPhee again. Hasn't the confidence of this player grown over the course of the season? Kick was intended for Murphy. Well done by Beaumont.
That was good.
Let's have another look at that mark. Just third man up. Such confidence. And Adam McPhee, just 21 years of age. What a pickup he's been from Fremantle. Of course, 25 games for the Dockers. Allen decisively. Got a ball up.
Look at the inside 50s. Only 2 the difference, yet the Bombers have scored 7 times to 1.
Yeah, well, it's just come out of the Hawthorn inside 50s or forward 50 far too often.
Matthew Allen trying to milk a free kick. Umpire letting it go, but eventually has to call for it as the ball's tied up underneath Hawthorn captain Nathan Thompson. What an understatement to say the Hawks desperately need one here. Allen doing a battle again with Thompson. Well done by Mitchell. Handball. Barker from just inside 50. Kick well smothered by Welsh. He goes back in and tries to get the football. Mark Williams fighting hard to get a purchase on the ball, but can't.
Great effort by Welsh, wasn't it? It was the smother, but also the follow-up.
Just worth noting that Everett's staying on the ground this week as Thompson goes into the ruck, boys. Last week he hit the bench at about this stage of the quarter.
Everett now doing the ruck work. Again, Congested. Mitchell almost throws it out. Barker, chance for Beaumont on his wrong side. He snaps back and kicks a beauty.
Never in doubt.
Simon Beaumont, well, he's kicked plenty of goals. 91 in his... kicked plenty of goals in his career at Beaumont. He's kicked 91. But, gee, he hasn't kicked too many, I would suggest, on his non-dominant side, and that was a beauty.
And they're the opportunities that do happen when you actually hold the ball inside your 50, forward 50. Slowly but surely, opportunities do happen, and on that occasion, Simon Beaumont was able to put Hawthorn's first goal through.
So the Hawks on the board in a major way, and Mitchell starting to get a bit of the footy. Vandenberg's kick smothered, so Loney has to go again. Thompson, Bateman, and well placed. And Thompson, who was in the ruck, pushed forward. And this would be a real boost to his confidence, not just by kicking a goal, but if he can kick a goal while playing in the ruck, suddenly some of that old touch might come back, Steve.
Yes. Of course, the captain of this team today.
1 goal, 2 last week. 12 goals, 11 in 8 games for the season. You can see the task ahead of him. 50 metres. And he accomplishes that superbly. Well done to Nathan Thompson. The Hawks 2-1-13. Get a couple back on the Bombers, who are 5-2-32.
There's some good build-up there. Good usage of handball. But Thompson pushing forward after that ruck contest. Got in a dangerous position. Was able to take the grab and kick Hawthorn's second goal. Well done, Nathan Thompson.
Two goals in 2 minutes to the Hawks. Margin back to 19 points. And dominating the centre clearances 4-1. Another chance for them. Pachoni, handball intended for Vandenberg. Missed the mark completely. Bad turnover. Now McPhee. Peveril. Long inside attacking 50. Well done. Good fist coming this time from Jacobs. Pachoni just shrugs the Lloyd tackle. Puts the head down. Well, don't know about that, Steve. He just buried the head.
Trip, the umpire's call was.
Trip. Hawthorn, all of a sudden, you just sense they've got a bit of confidence. Brown, crowed off a step. Wobbles it towards half-forward. Barker comes to meet it, makes a contest. That's all he had to do. Beaumont, Vandenberg, this time finds Barker. Kick towards Holland and Everett. Who's at the fall? McVeigh. Is he taken high? No, play on's the call. Bolton, first time the Bombers are under pressure. They're under real pressure. Chance for Ladson. Everett, can he get boot to ball? Now a chance for Williams, looking for options. Mitchell and eventually McVeigh clears the congestion, but only momentarily. Good mark taken by Pachoni.
A great pressure by the Hawthorn forwards.
Handball off to Loney, who can kick it a long way. Thumps it to the goal square. Holland almost. Lekas tries to kick it through and just fails. In fact, the ball trickling into the post. Well, Steve, that was a great 2 or 3 minutes from Hawthorn because they really, as you said, they put enormous pressure on the defence of Essendon.
Well, their forwards were hunting, and all of a sudden, you know, the Hawthorn backline are under a bit of pressure. There were a few mistakes.
Well, they huddle and break the Bombers again. The Hawks going to have to perhaps rethink what they do from the kick-ins, but Jason Johnson, this is the good thing about being man-on-man. It's the next kick that becomes a little more difficult, and Rioli made it look even more difficult than it was. But the Bombers have got it beyond half-back. Solomon forced to fly. Well, he didn't in the end, and really momentum has changed dramatically in the last 5 minutes. Whether they can turn that into something on the scoreboard remains to be seen. Good fire from Holland. Again, they're just making a contest. Brown's handball. They are still missing some targets. Allen back to Wellman. Down to Hurd. Johnson stayed down, and so did Lucas, who had all the time in the world to get onto his left boot, and he had even more time than he took to align himself more correctly with the goals.
Yeah, probably could have run in another 5 or 10 metres. Should have done better than that, Scotty Lucas.
Joel Smith with the responsibility this afternoon, kicking in.
Has to use Loney.
He does. Beaumont. Long kick. Oh, gee, it's all Essendon and Rioli.
Poor option.
It was intended for Barker, but he was just too far from the contest, and Rioli read it brilliantly. Kicks inside the centre square. Murphy. Good pressure from Osborne. Good strong hands, though, from Murphy. Justin Murphy's kicked a goal. On the lead, Lloyd and Peverill. Peverill didn't get to Lloyd. And Peverill's marked 40 metres from goal on a slight angle.
Steve, getting back to that Beaumont kick, it's like they've been told they have to kick long off half-back, and sometimes they've had options perhaps that have been better shorter.
Well, they had. If they use them not quickly enough, it's just that they were holding the ball up, and the shorter options were there. But I think Campbell Brown was the one that was loose, but Beaumont just went long, and there was no Hawthorn player there.
From right on 50, Damien Peverill, that's a super kick. Another one to the Bombers. So the margin out now to 25 points, and disappointing from a Hawthorn's perspective, Steve, because the last 5 or 6 minutes have played some pretty good footy.
Yeah, they have, and it was a decision-making process that really did let the Hawks players down. But Peverill, it was a great goal by Peverill.
Damien Peverill's 3rd goal for the season restores the Bombers' command over the Hawks. Out of the middle, Ramanauska's high-flying kick. Lovett Murray held down well by Loney, and Croyd got a fist, but Solomon right where he should have been at the front of the pack. Didn't make the most of his opportunity.
We're just
behind.
Yeah, so we just saw another option or another chance there by Essendon. Just a quick kick into their forward line. It's something that Hawthorn need to do too. Get it in nice and quickly.
Campbell Brown. What's ahead of him? There's not much on offer at the moment. He's got a short option on if he wants it and takes it. And Osborne takes it at half-back and committed to playing on, gave it to Dixon, whose options again not immediately obvious, but Thompson running and good overlap here. And he could keep going, but he decides to kick, and that's a terrific slips-type catch at half-forward taken by Nick Holland. Mark Williams was lurking. Holland too far out to score, so sets it up for the square. And the siren just at the wrong time as Barker and Everett were flying. Ends an opening quarter, which started in convincing style for the Bombers. The Hawks at least showed something, Steve.
They did. They got off to a slow start. Essendon completely dominated, but Hawthorn did have a bit of a fight back, but really do need to regroup at quarter time.
And Peter Everett is back in the ruck opposed to Matthew Allen. That coming from rather strange angles, as you can see. Still facing each other. They cross the line, and Everett with the tap. Murphy, under no circumstance was he going to give that ball up. And a fairly passive crowd, isn't it, today? I think everyone expecting that the Bombers, even though they're here in good numbers, that the Bombers would dominate, and that's exactly what they've done. But maybe the Hawks can get a bit of spirit and continue on from the last 10 minutes of the opening quarter. There's James Hird. We haven't seen a great deal of him today. 3 possessions. Joel Smith alongside him. The Hawks getting the centre breaks. Not much else as Johnson thrusts the Bombers forward. Now Loney linking up with Smith. And he's got time to adjust his kick here. Get on to his favourite boot if he wants. Popped it up, the leading Thompson, but Fletcher just read the play absolutely superbly in the air, knew where to go, and did that very well. Jason Johnson, as the switch is on, Ramanauska's Hird pushing. And Joel Smith would have to work pretty hard to get back onto him after running down the other side of the ground. Up to centre half forward. Holland gets back to help out Crode on Lucas. Sweeping in Solomon. Strong-bodied stuff again. Peverill sharp. McPhee. Lucas. Vandenberg. Couldn't stop him. Allen. Into the space. Wants to go. To the square. It's going to fall for Lloyd again. And he's going to line up for number 3. And his shots at goal haven't been too challenging today. He hasn't got too far away from the goal square.
No, he looks very comfortable back there, but Danny Jacobs, I just feel he's not the correct opponent for Matthew Lloyd. I might be proven wrong as the day goes on, but he really doesn't have a close checking game.
That's twice now Lloyd's got on the end of kicks that have fallen short, and Jacobs has been caught a few metres behind.
Matthew Lloyd has kicked a goal in every game this year. This for his 40th of the season. And not too much troubles there. Plenty of troubles for Peter Swab, but none for Matthew Lloyd.
Matthew Allen also getting involved, running very hard to create. And we just look at that kick again, falling short, and Danny Jacobs just being caught 2 or 3 metres behind Matthew Lloyd. And that's all Matthew Lloyd needed. He's kicked 3. Margin now out to 32 points. Everett, that's a great tap towards Mitchell. Taken high, will get the free kick. Vandenberg and Henneman just getting involved off the play, and Sam Mitchell just a little proppy. Grabbing his shin or maybe his left ankle.
Yeah, a lot proppy, I'd suggest.
That was enough just to kick the half foot. Everett got hands to it. Solomon, hands and knees. Murphy, dangerous handball. Now a chance for Williams. His handball misses the mark, puts Beaumont under extreme pressure. And the Bombers are there in numbers. Solomon, his handball, intended for Lucas, missed the mark. Solomon does well to get back in. Dumps it back only as far as Dixon. Vandenberg can play on, just stands and delivers. Long to the goal square. Everett. Thompson from the back, can't take the mark. No crummers there for the Hawks. They do well enough just to tie it up.
Mitchell coming off, boys. It's just below his left knee. He's in a fair bit of strife here.
Just what they didn't need. 7 possessions for Sam Mitchell and 4 clearances.
Allen favoured by the bounce. Smith scoops it up and is penalised. Advantage paid. Peverill. Gee, it wasn't much advantage. Chance for Brown. Trying to combine with Ladson to bring it away, but the Bombers do well to tie it up.
Did really well, Winderley.
And a free kick to the Bombers for not making a genuine attempt to get rid of the football.
And umpire Darren Goldsmith. Hawthorn fans would have fond memories of him, of course, from the preliminary final of 2001. Winderley gets them going. And the Bombers, look at the numbers around the ball there. But his decision before that to pay advantage to Damien Peverill was fairly questionable as well. He was running straight to the boundary line. Let's get another look at what happened with Sam Mitchell. Just went over on him, really, didn't he? Everett getting it down again. Baccioni, boy, it's a big task for the Hawks midfielders now, isn't it? Without their captain, and now without Sam Mitchell, their top 2 midfielders, certainly on reputation and in form as far as Mitchell is concerned. It leaves a big task for the likes of Baccioni and Rees, who are in amongst it at the moment. And that man Vandenberg. There's the Essendon bench. Joe Mercedes hasn't seen any action yet. Dean Rioli having a rest. Lovett Murray as well. Everett just palming down, but without much purpose, as Ramanauskas gives Lloyd another chance. This time Jacobs outpoints him. And the Hawks will try and get some run out of defence. long half back. This is Bateman stretching out now. Holland with Bolton to come over the top. Got on his back. And the Hawks fans love it. The advantage paid. Taken by Lekis. To the top of the square. Williams takes it and thought about playing on. And the Hawthorn crowd behind the goals, giving it to the umpire. What about 50? Or 5, as it would have been.
Yeah, it was a very good kick here by Lekis. I'm sure he meant this. Saw that Williams was running in towards the goal square.
Just a little look in the review mirror. Oncoming traffic, so he decided to put the brakes on. The leading goal kicker for the year, Mark Williams, kicks his first for the day.
That was the free kick to Nick Holland, who coincidentally has come off the ground. But a clever kick by Angelo Lekis.
Romanascus coming from the ground. That's what is ahead of Nathan Loney. He decides to just chip into the back pocket. Campbell Brown. And that's what is ahead of him. Not much on offer. Smith accepts the chip pass. Not much movement for the Hawks. Barker makes a lead. That's ignored. Instead, he kicks towards Campbell, who leads. Couldn't quite hold onto it. Crowd keeps the arms clear. Still couldn't get an effective possession away. Gee, that was a great tackle coming from Lucas. Well, he did everything right, Trent Crowdy. The arms clear, but still...
He's in trouble, Campbell.
See what happened?
Oh, I think Adam McPhee may have dumped him. No, Mark Johnson it was.
Ooh, interesting to have a look at that replay again.
I don't think there was much in it, but he followed through with the tackle.
Meanwhile, Hurd kicks inside, attacking 50. Lloyd kicks a goal. He's got 4. Well, as easy as that, then Lloyd really creating some havoc down there, although he's getting plenty of opportunities. As we look at the Mark Johnson on Campbell, it's very similar to the one that Crawford broke his arm last week, where both arms were pinned and really driven hard into the ground.
Yeah.
But Matthew Lloyd kicked his 4th, and he's proved a real thorn in this Hawthorn side.
Sean Denham in the colours today for the Bombers, with John Barnes out injured. The Bombers had a 33-point lead. James Surgis, the 5 possessions, got one in the build-up to that last goal. Dixon thrusting them forward and giving Lekis a chance to break clear of McPhee, but his alignment well out as well. As Fletcher takes the mark. Dangerous kick, but Murphy over the top to Allen. Slow motion stuff as Everett wins it off Allen. He can feed it in to Beaumont. His 9th possession is to full forward. Thompson and Barker. At the front of the pack, Lekis went to ground. See John Barker then just rehearsing, trying to take the mark. Hasn't quite got the touch back at this stage.
Just looking at the other end of the ground, Trent Crowd has gone back to Matthew Lloyd. Jacobs on a Lucas.
Campbell goes again and gets the feed out for Dixon. Solomon, well done by Ben Dixon. He created that opportunity, and Thompson might be able to score off it. Very cruel bounce, and Fletcher just knocks it straight over the boundary line. Matthew Lloyd points again with Trent Croad alongside him. 6 possessions, 4 marks, 4 goals. He's got a bit to make up on Fraser Gehrig, who of course is in stellar form at the top of the goal-kicking table. Mercedes on the ground now, copying a good bump from Beaumont, which created the spillage, and the Hodge goal. Now that's the sort of play that can engender some spirit into a team, Steve.
Oh, no doubt. Good physical stuff. We saw I think it's a bump here by Beaumont. Well, that was just pressure, really. And Hodge, great snap for goal. Should give him a bit of a spark.
Kevin Sheedy would be fairly content, I would suggest, with things so far in this match, although a great goal there to Luke Hodge, taking the opportunity after some good pressure from Simon Beaumont. Everett gets it down straight to Solomon, just scrambles it towards centre half forward. Chanceloni, well played, comes to meet it, brushes the Alvey tackle aside, wobbles it towards centre half forward. Chance at the back, McVeigh can't control it. Bombers have numbers, but the pressure is good from the Hawks. Thompson, can he get it clear? He can, only as far as Welsh. Ball's still alive, and Fletcher just slaps it for a rush behind. Good pressure inside, attacking 50 from the Hawks.
Yeah, great attacking play by Loney.
And again, the break from the huddle. McPhee marks, he's got Murphy just scooting past. Now they've been held up. Joel Smith still running with James Hurd on the wing. So McPhee gives Hurdy a kick, trying to bring him into the game. Up along the line he goes for Rioli. Five and a half minutes remaining in the second quarter. Lucas almost the juggler. Johnson. Mercedes. Oh, fantastic touch. And the hapless Campbell, a little frustrated as Bolton goes back to line-up.
Yes, and Joe Mercedes, I'm not too sure whether that was intended. But it was Bolton that got on the end of it. But that's their 10th mark inside 50 for the Bombers.
So Mark Bolton, 2 goals, 2 for the year coming into today. And the equation in front of him here shouldn't be too difficult. He just squeezes it back through. So Essendon go to 9-5-59, Hawthorn 4-3-27.
8 goals straight they've kicked from set shots. So fantastic forward play by the Bombers. Margin 32 points. Bombers led by 31 at the 19-minute mark of the first quarter. So the Hawks have at least been able to stabilise things, and just to wonder whether Bomber coach Kevin Sheedy might be just a touch disappointed with that. Barker almost a very clever mark. Lekas snap towards full forward. Thompson. He'll get well, the umpire put whistle to mouth. Now I thought he was going to pay the free kick because it looked as though he was held. He couldn't quite hold onto the mark.
And Johnny Barker giving umpire Darren Goldsbig a mouthful as well, and that would seem with some justification.
Absolutely.
Do you think so?
Absolutely. Unlucky Nathan Thompson.
I thought Dustin Fletcher did very well.
Well, he did in the end, but what a very lucky umpire decision in his favour. Mercedes gives it to Wellman. Loney with the sit here, does well, spoils, hits the ground running. Can he keep it in? No. Boundary throw in at half forward for the Hawks. We watch it again, and there's the left arm of Fletcher bringing him to ground. You can't tackle someone when you're going for a mark like that, Steve.
Soft, Chris.
You can't tackle someone like that.
Sorry for competing.
You can't tackle someone when they're in the air, mate.
Sorry for competing.
Open your eyes. Smith kicks it inside, attacking 50. Chance in front. Hodge almost. Mercedes fighting hard, as is Wellman. Well tackled by Barker. And we'll get a bounce 30 metres from Hawthorn's goal.
You're certainly right on one thing, Sykes. He is soft. Darren Goldspink, 5 free kicks to Essendon, none to Hawthorn, just to fuel the fire a little.
I'm with you, Chriso.
What, that he's soft?
Goldspink towards Jason Johnson. Williams can't keep it in. Applying the pressure, as he's done for much of the afternoon. Another boundary throw in. Scoring opportunity for the Hawks. Everett. Beaumont. Well tackled by Murphy. Lekas snaps across the face, and it'll be an Essendon free kick to be taken by Welsh.
And he goes for Hurd, who again gives them an avenue out of defence.
Been a good duel, this Smith and Hurd.
McPhee with the run and the leap, but he possibly could have punched there on that occasion. Flying from behind, he won't be happy. But man in front paid. Campbell Brown. They've got the man on the other side of the ground and they can get it to him. Pachoni was out there, but
This is when they run into trouble, when the ball's held up.
Murphy coming from behind. Dixon's kick to Hodge, who takes it. Is he too far out to score? He hesitates and then kicks well for Thompson.
Oh, great kick.
And that's the sort of precision disposal that Hawthorn need and that hopefully Luke Hodge can provide over the next decade.
Well, yeah, he just had the composure. He was going to go short, and then he just saw Thompson find a bit of space, and it was a perfectly placed kick by Hodge.
Amazingly, it's been 12-6 for the inside 50s for this quarter, so the Hawks are getting it in there.
He's actually given him something up forward, Hodge. Came onto the ground and has given him a bit of a spark up there, another option.
Nathan Thompson, again, hasn't had a big day. Kicked a goal earlier. 3 marks for the day. Needs to get this one. And does. And gives them some hope still.
And that's the kick, perfectly placed. Lucas falling off Thompson. And that's his second.
Three goals apiece for the quarter. Margin 26 points as it was at quarter time. The Hawks leading the centre clearances 8-3. Allen, Thompson, Hodge was taken high. Advantage play. Kicks inside, attacking 50. The back, Fletcher read it best. Everett now in the goal square. Jason Johnson loose at half back. He's away. It's a half shepherd from Rioli as he kicks long towards half forward. Lucas and Jacobs. Lucas strong hands in front of Jacobs. They're playing well, the two key forwards for the Bombers. Lucas coming in for possession number 12. Lloyd's kicked 4 goals. Long towards the goal square. Crow. Oh, he takes a beauty. There's a free kick off the ball. And it'll come back to Mark Johnson, which begs my question, why wasn't advantage paid and Lloyd paid the mark closer to goal? But it comes back incredibly to Mark Johnson, who should kick the goal in any case. He's just 20 metres from goal. And effect the quick reply by the Bombers. He pops it through. And some byplay there between Mark Johnson and Lance Pachoni. Pachoni just sat on his backside momentarily. But the margin back out to 32 points, Steve.
Yes, and just too many options up forward for the Bombers at the moment. Lucas getting plenty of the ball, but also Matthew Lloyd creating heaps of problems for those Hawthorn defenders.
Well, this mark unfortunately won't win Matthew Lloyd the car. Didn't count because Mark Johnson was infringed upon, and the Bombers lead out to 32 after the Johnson goal. Not sure Kevin Sheedy's thoughts on the whole quarter, actually, Sauce, in terms of whether they've just sort of allowed Hawthorn to get back into it at all, but the margin certainly preserved as umpire Goldsmith calls for a bounce. Has been any signs of complacency, do you think, among
I don't think so. I just feel that Hawthorn have basically put up a much better quarter. There's no doubt their tackling has increased, but also they've been able to get the ball inside their forward 50 and at least make a contest down there.
Thompson farming it out, but Elvey crunched. That goal by Johnson will certainly hurt the Hawks going into the major break. Again, Allen and Thompson, and Allen winning it away. His handball onto the ground for Solomon. Rioli weaving his way through to Lovett Murray. There's still time for one more. Lovett Murray into the space. Here comes Lloyd. He let Lucas run through. Murphy gets it back out looking for Johnson. Lucas. A couple of Hawthorn players there, still under pressure, and saved by the bell as Pachoni was about to take it away anyway. So at half-time, it is Essendon 10-5-65, Hawthorn 5-3-33. So can the Hawks fire up a bit of Olympic spirit? Maybe that can engender something into this game. Everett wins the tap down to Vandenberg and now to Hodge. And the Hawks have a chance to thrust forward in a meaningful way. Lekis, a contest. Thompson, Fletcher. Holland versus Allen. They're putting the bodies on the line, the Hawks. Desperation needed. Rioli, cool heads prevailing. Onto the wing, Solomon being harassed. Gets away from the clutches of Ben Dixon. But good pressure from the Hawks. Forced the turnover. Rees, he's got options through the middle, and the umpire's going to make him bring it back, and those options will dry up. Forced to go very short in the end. Bateman. Good work done by Hodge. Up to half forward. Fletcher. Solomon. Done great work at both ends of the ground today. McPhee and Lovett Murray, the Flyers. Good slick hands. The Hawks are away. It was Brown that started at Bateman. Barker, and now Bateman again. Up towards Williams, hopelessly outnumbered, but he's going to get a free for holding on against McVeigh. Pachoni trying to take advantage, but the umpire having nothing of it. And Mark Williams should kick his second.
Yeah, well, it's great. It was good movement by the Hawks. It was nice and slick. They tried to get the ball quickly into their forward 50, and as a result, it put Mark McVeigh under enormous pressure, and he held on or gave Mark Williams a push in the back, and he has a chance to put Hawthorn's first goal on the board in this third quarter.
Big kick, this one, for Mark Williams in the Hawks, and bang, he fires it through. And I didn't see any sign of the shotgun there, but the Hawks go to 6-3-39. Essendon 10-5-65. So maybe they're going to give something here, the Hawks.
Too soft, Steve?
Oh, well, it may have been just a fraction, and Williams was probably caught off balance a little bit, but the umpire was right there, Michael, and you need to go with the umpire.
That's a pleasant change, Steve. Mark Williams, where's the shot? There it is, bang. He's kicked two, and the Hawks within 26 points. If they can just sneak another one here, it's going to put enormous pressure back onto the Bombers, who have failed in the last halves in several games this year. And some real eagerness there and spirit shown in the middle. And this bubbling over a little. Vandenberg. Brown's thrown
Free
out.
kick to Hawthorn.
Get the ball, Hawks,
Dixon.
and move it.
Now loose players, Reese just back Vacated the centre circle to half forward to Thompson. Couldn't mark. No free kick there. Bolton read it off hands very well. Kicks hurriedly though. Winderlich, he was taken on. Must get the free kick.
It was great play by Bolton to get back.
Little
It's support Fletcher.
Jason Winderlich. And some blood just on the bottom lip there as he copped it really hard from Chance Bateman. And he'll have to go off under the blood rule.
It is on everywhere out here, boys. Spot fires all over the place.
And there it is, Pachoni, McFall, and Vandenberg letting lefts and rights go to the
You
feet.
can't do that.
And here comes Welsh to remonstrate with Vandenberg.
This is the 1980s revisited.
Well, I tell you what, at least Hawthorn is showing a bit of spirit here. And Campbell Brown looks to be bloodied round the mouth as well. Dustin Fletcher getting involved. Barker stopped that pretty quickly. This is unbelievable. We haven't seen these sort of scenes for a long time in AFL football.
I'm not sure this is the Olympic spirit, but it's something out there.
Beaumont and Murphy all a little right cross there, was it?
Former teammates.
I'm sure I saw Colin Robertson in there somewhere with Tim Watson, but I'm not sure.
Winderlich's all right. He's up and about. Now Beaumont there just letting one go, and Justin Murphy gets
Former teammates as well.
Bit of jumper punching. Welsh going down. A bit of staging.
I reckon it was the Bateman hit on Winderlich that started all that, lads.
It was crude.
It was a bit off the ball here.
And Beaumont and Murphy still going at it in the centre of the ground.
Mick Rees.
Let's have a look at Richie Vandenberg. He's on the right of screen there. Bang! I don't know whether any of those connected. And Chance Bateman getting involved there too. Gee. We haven't seen that for a while, Steve.
No, we haven't.
Not sure the umpires know what to do.
And McPhee's bloody to the eye there.
McPhee's caught one. He'll have to go off under the blood rule.
He'll be about the fifth coming off with the blood rule. There's already been two come off. Winderlich limping to the boundary line now.
Now, play can't go on. Surely play can't go on under the blood rule if someone's coming from the ground, Andrew.
No, that's right, Michael. They're supposed to stop play. You're dead right.
So Hodges got it at half back. Chips out wide. Jacobs. Short. Can the Hawks respond here? They've come out firing in this third quarter. Bateman long to full forward. Barker pushed out, was he? Wellman getting back. Chance for McVeigh. They're under pressure. Good tackle, Leckis. Williams getting involved. Leckis trying to get a kick from the congestion. Now Barker in space. Well tackled. Somehow gets a handball out wide towards Rees. He's tied up, and the umpires have got to get control pretty quickly here. It's on again in the pocket.
Well,
This is unbelievable.
There'll be plenty of tied boys out there. When you wrestle like this and there is a scrap, you'll find there are a number of errors. Players get tied, very tied.
Umpire calls play on, and Wellman takes it. Jason Johnson, and then cops one from Osborne. Will it be 50? Yes, it will, and that'll hurt the Hawks. Plenty going on. There's Murphy and Beaumont.
And there was a little right open hand cross.
Looking forward to the tribunal on
I'll
Tuesday
tell you what,
night.
Ian Robertson's going to have a very, very busy weekend.
Just one footnote to that. Adam McPhee came off the ground and had the riot act read to him by the Essendon bench.
Johnson with some momentum sets it up one-on-one extraordinarily. It could be one-on-one in the square, and Lloyd takes the mark and kicks the goal, and that is an indictment on the Hawthorn defence.
Well, Nathan Thompson was, I think, on the ball at the time, and Everett's in the centre square as well. I think players just too tired. They just didn't get back, Steve.
I made mention after you're in a scrap like that, it gets physical, but what goes is your power in your legs, and those Hawthorn taller players could not push back and support their teammates.
And you can see Bruce O'Connor, the physio there, taking Adam McPhee off the ground, almost shoving him off the ground.
It was him, Hutto, that actually gave it to Adam McPhee, just explaining that what he did out there was not what was required.
Well, McPhee back on the ground. margin, 32 points. Matthew Lloyd in all of that has kicked 5. He's beaten 2 opponents. Croydon Jacobs, Pi Goldspink. Restarts play, Everett. Mark Johnson, Pachoni barrels him and he'll get a free kick.
They've got to concentrate on the ball as well, so
No doubt. And I've got no doubt that Kevin Sheedy got that message to Adam McPhee.
Umpires have got to keep control here. They've just lost it for the moment. Mark Johnson towards attacking 50. Fist from Everett. Kicked forward by Henneman. Lands in the arms of Allen. And Matthew Allen from 30 metres on a 45-degree angle. Chance to really inflict some pain for Hawthorn, who came out firing. And here's a bit more of... There's Mark Johnson or Nick Holland.
He gave him the nose squeeze.
Yeah. Well, Matthew Allen, a chance to extend the lead to the biggest in the match to date. .38 points. So since that, well, almost an all-in, Steve, the Bombers have kicked 2 quick goals.
Yes, and there's no doubt that the Hawks tried to unsettle the Bombers, but they've quickly regained their composure, which is the most important thing by the Bombers, concentrating on the footy. And we just saw Matthew Allen sneak out the back there and was able to put the Bombers' second goal on the ball in this third quarter.
Peter Swab watching on as the Bombers kicked consecutive goals, the first time either side has since quarter time. 10 straight from set shots for Essendon today as Hodge hit the handball and couldn't get an effective clearance. There's a whistle advantage, and it was Hodge that took it and delivered on the plate to the charging forward Nathan Thompson. And if there is one shining light today, it's been the return of Luke Hodge.
Oh, how good was that? The follow-up and to actually execute that kick at top speed.
On his non-dominant side.
Yeah, quite incredible. I thought Nathan Thompson's had a bit of a crack today as well.
The skipper. 2 goals he's kicked, 4 marks he's taken. And this, just given the way the game is placed at the moment, is such a big kick. And he pushes it across. The umpire had a bit of trouble, but he'll signal it behind. (6-4-40) Hawthorn, 12-5-77 Essendon.
Hawthorn persisting with the man-on-man from the kick-ins. And Essendon have been able to work it away easily each and every time. Wellman to Ramanauskas. Kick is perfect. Bolton overlap with Matthew Allen. Kicks towards Lloyd on the lead. Just set it up, gave Croyd a chance, but there's a free kick against Trent Croyd. Well, there didn't look to be much in that. We'll have another look at it, but let's see. Gee, there wasn't much in that. So, one that perhaps Nathan Thompson should have got late in the second term, and a even less obvious one there paid to Matthew Lloyd. Hard to work it out. He's kicked 5, the gun full forward. He comes in now. Pops it through. Matthew Lloyd has 6. The Bombers by 43 points.
The front angle showed the contact, but...
listen, there's no doubt there was a hand around the neck, but it was very minor. But great play by the Bombers. They brought that ball in from the kick out. Not one Hawthorn player touched the ball, and they were able to put it through for a goal.
Hawthorn have got to go back to the zone from their kick-ins, surely, from the Essendon kick-ins.
Matthew Lloyd has now kicked 6 straight today. He's kicked 11 straight the last couple of weeks after kicking 2-4 against the Cats. So whatever problems he was having in front of goal seem to be fixed now. And the Bombers certainly in command again at the MCG. Tempers seem to have cooled just a fraction as Lekas finds a way through and almost caps it off with a goal, but not quite.
It'll be interesting now to see whether the Bombers huddle. What they've been doing is that 2 or 3 of the players break, but they keep the huddle. They keep the huddle. They don't all go at once.
Hawthorn have been cut up. Welsh across the ground, Bolton. And they've done well now to contain it at half-back, but they've got runners outside. One of them's Peverill, and Bolton gets it to him. At half-back. Long lead provided by Henneman. That's the target. Close to the line. Henneman does very well to try and keep it in, but can't. And a boundary throwing between wing and half-forward for the Bombers. And there's Adam McPhee with his left eye. Looking very bruised and bloodied. Everett and Allen. A chance for Osborne. Can he run onto the football? He can. Good chase from Lovett Murray. Good shepherd though by Crow. Just bought Osborne some time as he kicks towards the wing. One-on-one. Barker and Wellman. Wellman does very well. And he was just looking for the boundary line. He achieved his objective. And a boundary thrown between wing and half-forward for the Bombers.
.42 points the margin. Look at the inside 50s. 20-11 since quarter time. Favour of the Hawks, but it's been the Bombers that have racked it up on the scoreboard. Free kick. Beaumont, who's had 10 possessions today and kicked a goal. Almost everyone on the ground is ahead of Joel Smith. So it's a fairly cramped forward line. Jacobs applies the pressure. Ladson a handball. Oh, Williams too quick to try and get it off, and Welsh finds his target, the boundary line. So the Hawks came out firing at the start of this quarter. Well, came out fighting more than firing. Bateman. Loney. Oh, well done by Pachani. Good persistence. And he gives Thompson a chance. Hodge wanted a free but didn't get it. And a disappointment for Nathan Thompson, who almost swallowed that one, but just not quite. The surety in the hands hasn't quite returned. Let's have a look at this one.
He just bounced off the chest.
Everett, and this is Jason Johnson, who started the game superbly. Out to the wing. Ramanauskas edged out of it by Bateman, but he couldn't go all the way. Tackle from Pachoni. Lucas, Mark Johnson conspire. And look at Rioli. All the space in the world to work in. Dean Rioli. He's from the top shelf. Another Bomber goal. $14-5-89 now to 6-5-41.
And I just cannot believe how Dean Rioli was left out on his own. No one within 30 metres of him. And that's how easy he did it.
So since what was almost an all-in brawl, the Bombers have kicked 4 goals unanswered. Everett doing battle again with Allen. Loose ball. Peverill, good tackle coming from Reese. The Bombers are still able to force it forward. Lucas overruns it. Crow, well done by Trent Crow. Loney needs to use it here, and he does. Keeps his head. for Choney. Sweeping handball. I thought he was aiming to the umpire. It was Bowman who was standing right behind him. Well done, Bateman.
Well done.
Now a chance for Everett. Needs to get on with it quickly. Brown. Left foot high towards half forward. Lecker standing underneath it. Can't take the mark. Peverill just plucks it out of there. Rioli's got it. Allowed to play on too easily. Thumps it long towards half forward. Lloyd. Great mark.
If you just watch Jacobs in that marking contest, at no stage did he try to get body contact. All he had to do was just get Lloyd off balance. At no stage was there touch.
Just a great mark from Matthew Lloyd. And we have a look at one of the key matchups of the day. And Joel Smith, who's played on James Hird right throughout the day, just 7 possessions for the Essendon captain.
Yeah, it's been a great job.
Joel Smith's done a very good job, but it hasn't stopped the Bombers surging to an 8-goal lead. Matthew Lloyd, he's got 6, now he's got 7. Matthew Lloyd's kicked 3 for the quarter, and as we look at the long kick coming in, and Steve Jacobs there, he almost had the front position for a moment, but just couldn't get contact on the ball.
I mean, that's fine, but all he had to do was protect the ball, protect his space, and had he gained or got some type of body contact earlier on, there's no way Matthew Lloyd would have been able to get across to that ball.
The nightmare continues for Peter Swab as the Bombers pile on the goals at the MCG. It's out to a 54-point ball game as Everett gets it to Vandenberger, and his head almost ripped off, and he'll get the free in the middle of the ground despite what you see on this screen.
It's on again.
It is on the wing.
Luke Hodge gave it to James Hird then.
Umpire quick to move it. Play goes on. We'll just keep showing you the fight though, because it's a little more interesting than the play. Here's Henneman to get a chance. Beaumont up to half forward. Campbell Brown looking to go backwards to find some space and find Danny Jacobs. Hemmed in against the line. Turnover. Lloyd can give it to Lucas, who will stroll in. No, he handballs to Masidi, and he will stroll in.
Oh, that's got to be another kick.
He's going to get it.
He's going to get another kick. Well, this is unbelievable. And Joe Masidi's hurt. He was absolutely buried in the motion of kicking, and he's in trouble, Joe Masidi.
Well, if it's in the motion of kicking, it shouldn't be another kick, should
Well,
it?
I just wonder whether he wasn't. There it is, bang. And the umpire, you can see just 5 metres away at a perfect view of it. And he looks a bit groggy, Joe. Oh, dear. There's Jacobs, and look at Crow. Well, Steve, what do you think?
Well,
I don't want to be labelled too soft. Is that too soft?
well, I think they've just lost the. I just think they've lost the plot at the moment. The Hawks. They've tried to unsettle the Bombers. It hasn't worked, and basically they are not up to it.
Well, amazingly, Essendon have been inside 50 6 times and kicked 7 goals in this quarter. This is the Hird incident with Hodge. And there's Joe Masidi.
We don't often see the second free kick paid, and there's another look at Hird and Hodge.
Bit of hair pulling, perhaps.
Yes, Crow has come off the ground. Nick Holland going back into the Hawthorn back half. And looks like as a spare man.
Free kick to Hawthorn from the centre square. Campbell, Smith. Ladson a chance. I don't know where he was handballing there, but Fletcher. Good pressure though from Ladson. And has caused the error from Fletcher. And a chance here for Angelo Lekas. Drives it long. Pachoni with the sit, but Allen getting back takes a comfortable mark for the Bombers.
Quite a good game, Matthew Allen.
Hurt move for him straight away. He's got nothing down the wing, so he has to wait and adjust his kick as the leads finally came. Good body work by Murphy, just a shrug of the shoulders, and they're away. McPhee's adrift. He wants Lloyd in the square. Matthew Lloyd, he'll kick his 8th if only he can get to his feet. Touched on the line just. All he had to do was stand up, Matty Lloyd, but he just couldn't get up. And Danny Jacobs, desperate lunge.
An important day today for the Bombers. Their margin is 66 points. And in establishing that lead, they've lifted their percentage from 103 before today. Currently stands at 110%. Pachoni kicks inside, attacking 50. Everett. Free kick. The big spider. Hasn't kicked a goal this afternoon. Everett was kicked 14 for the season. From 15 metres, he pops it through. A badly needed goal to the Hawks. So after kicking the opening goal of this third quarter, the Bombers then proceeded to kick the next 7 before that goal from Peter Everett.
Yes, and Peter Everett's played a fair bit of time up forward, has only taken the 1 mark, and that's where basically the Hawks have really fallen down, is their forward line, failing to find their forward targets.
So the Hawks' 7th goal, margin 60. Campbell it is, opposed to Henneman in the ruck. Too many in the square. Penalty free, no advantage. We'll come back to Campbell. So Kevin Sheedy giving Aaron Henneman a run in the ruck as Joel Smith flies past for a nice possession and onto the chest of Johnny Barker, who kicked from outside 50. At his best, he could probably make it from there. He's got Everett down there. Some good movement from the Hawthorn forwards, but there's not much space for them to work in. He decides to go centrally. The fly came from Dixon, but overwhelmed by numbers. And Welsh able to put it under the chest of Rioli, and as we've seen so often today, the Bombers launching attacks from their half-back. And McPhee's broken deep, and Lloyd seen him. His disposal wasn't good at all. As it turned out, he couldn't find the long target. That came off the boot, I think, of Holland. And Darren Goldsmith was right there to see it.
He's got Ramanauskas in the square if he gets back quick enough, Murphy.
You might fancy a shot at goal from there. Ten goals, 2 for the year.
This is poor.
That is unbelievable. Henneman's got away completely from Campbell. You sound disgusted, Sauce.
Well, 15 metres off your opponent. I mean, you just know when someone's within 45 out from goal, you've got to man up. You just got to grab a man.
They haven't missed from set shots today, the Bombers. 13 straight. If he kicks this. In fact, that's 14.
And there's a little toe poke out of bounds on the full by Nick Holland. And Henneman was able to get in the clear. And a great finish. What a remarkable stat that is. 14 goals straight to the Bombers from set shots. Margin now an even 11 goals in favour of the Bombers. They led by 26 points at quarter time, by 32 at the long break. Henneman crashing through, well played Dixon. He uses Osborne. Kicks with the left boot out wide. Thompson has to sit and wait, but good strong hands in front of Fletcher. Wheels onto the right boot. Hoists it high towards Hawthorn. Everett in the pack. Fist coming from Bolton. Wellman. Good tackle by Ladson. Ties it up. Now, did Wellman have prior opportunity? No, according to umpire Goldspink. So
let's have a look at this domination of the stats in that period from after the fight, from the 7-minute to the 22-minute mark. Kicks, marks, handballs, goals. They kicked 7 goals to 2 behinds in that time as the Hawks lost the plot and the Bombers just concentrated on the footy.
They work it out of defence. Wellman to Welsh. 1-on-1. Smith and Hurd. Well done, James Hurd. Somehow got boot the ball. Alvey just decides to punch it on. Punch back by Brown. Bolton, clever little deft touch to Solomon, who kicks out wide. Rioli in space. He's played very well, Dean Rioli. Ball, Mark Johnson, a strong shepherd as he kicks towards full forward. Holland did well there. Spoiling in front of Allen. Now needs to use it. Wheels onto the right boot. Peville will get there first, and he marks just the attacking side of the wing. Alvey. Transfers playing to the centre of the ground. Ramanauskas, he can go. Drills it short. Lucas. Too easy. Exactly what is meant to happen when you transfer the play. You transfer the play to the open side of the ground where all the space is, and Lucas was able, in the end, nonchalantly just to run into that space and will kick from pretty much right on 50.
Yeah, but more importantly too, Michael, it was the quick movement. They got the ball on nice and quickly to allow their players to find the space.
From right on 50. The goal umpire doesn't move. They've kicked 9-1 now for the quarter, which is their best quarter of the year. And almost 34 minutes into this third quarter, their lead blows out to the biggest of the match, 72 points.
Yes, and
Steve, who would have thought that when Mark Williams kicked the opening goal of this quarter for Hawthorn, brought them back to within 26 points. They were having a dip, having a go, and all of a sudden, within the space of 25 minutes, the game completely blown wide open.
Yes, and you've got to take your hat off to the Bombers. They quickly readjusted after that all-in brawl and have stuck to their guns, concentrated on the footy.
Stark difference in class in these two sides being shown right here and now at the MCG. Rioli to Lloyd to Allen, and Holland deciding that behind was the right option on that occasion. He was probably right. About the only way the Bombers are scoring behinds at the moment. Oh, the goal umpire worked for it. As Loney belts it in. Henneman, well spoiled. Hurd couldn't get enough onto it. And well taken by Dixon, who didn't look up, just kicked it as soon as he got it. We've seen enough of that today from the Hawks. Ramanauskas linking in nicely with Henneman, who'll be enjoying this little run. Adjusted his kick for Solomon. He's got Lloyd back in the square and Allen. So he's got 2 marking targets. Lloyd decides to try and make a lead and doubling back. Still the Hawks not that many numbers back. Lloyd over the top of Rees. Play on. Rioli goes to ground. And the Hawks have got 21 seconds to see off before the 3/4 time break. And have at least a bit of a pause for this agony. 35.5 minutes this quarter's gone. Again, Henneman involved. Down to Lloyd off the right foot. Oh, he would have loved that one. Right on the bell. There's Jacobs and Rioli. As Joel Smith goes down the middle. That tough for Lekas. Good spoil for McPhee. And sirens should sound to end. A sensational quarter by the Bombers. You could have been forgiven for drifting off, just nodding off in the second quarter, but We hope you stayed awake for that quarter. There was plenty of action, Sauce.
Oh, there was. Obviously, the Hawks took it up to the Bombers physically in that early in that third quarter, but full credit to the Bombers. They did readjust very quickly, kicking 9 goals to 2 in that third quarter. There's a very disappointed man in Peter Schwab. Not too sure what he can do with that group of players out there at the moment, but must take your hat off to the Essendon footy team, who did kick a 9-goal quarter and certainly played some great football.
Margin 80 points in favour of the Bombers, and the Hawks, they were thrashed last week to the tune of 86 points by Adelaide. Another drubbing today. The first goal of this final term took 49 seconds. Henneman again doing battle with Everett. Ball comes wide of the centre circle. Hurd to half forward. Rioli again. Too good now. He's played on foolishly. He's well tackled. Now, did he have prior opportunity?
Well, did he play on?
Well, I think he took a step or two, and that was all umpire Justin Smith needed to wave the arms and call play on.
Having a laugh about it there, Rioli, I think.
Henneman dumps it forward again. Paccioni is brought to the ground vigorously and will get a free kick. The umpire's just paying these free kicks, I think, just to try and make sure they keep control of things. Smith, who's been a very good player, to half forward. Barker in the pack. Thompson in from the side. At the back, it's all the Bombers. Bolton, now McPhee. Just stops and props to assess his options. Long kick towards Lloyd, who's on a long lead. He's got it. Matthew Lloyd's kicked 7 goals this afternoon. Uses Alvey. A little undersigned, so he chips into Ramanaskas, who marks. Over the flow provided by Jason Johnson, who kicks towards half forward. Lucas and Hurd. Fist from Holland. Now a chance for Campbell Brown. Paccioni. Now there's a free kick coming back, and it'll come back to Campbell Brown.
Paid advantage now, has he?
No, it's going to come back.
Thought about it.
I think he was undecided, the umpire.
Brown swings it across. Well, Dixon certainly hasn't been their worst today for the Hawks. In fact, he's their highest possession winner with 17. Holland makes Spider Everett work for it, which he does. Nathan Thompson calls for it deep, but Lekis was the preferred option, as it turned out. Back in the square, Trent Crowe makes a good run at it. Just couldn't land it. McVeigh worked his way through the pack nicely. Peverill, and they've got numbers adrift on the wing. Alvey, Johnson. Oh, Rioli, sublime. Into full forward. Oh, great fist from Osborne. Good reckless defensive work. And again, Dixon can try and steer them out of the defensive 50, and they've got a loose man for Joel Smith to try and hit it half forward, and it's Hodge. And we know what a penetrating kick he usually is. That's not the best looking kick. Williams created a contest, taken by Barker. Could have had a shot himself. Handball back to Lekis, who was out of range. Nathan Thompson with the ride. Bolton with a double fist. Now Bateman started his career as a small forward. Knows how to find the goal still. Stand and deliver. And maybe that's something for Peter Schwab to think about.
Yes, very good shot there from the boundary line. Haven't had too many crumbing forwards, the Hawks, but on this occasion, Bateman was front and square, and a very, very good goal.
Interesting, Bateman kicking that goal. I wonder if they think of him as a small forward. Williams is not your typical small forward, is he? He's not really your roving forward. He's more your leading, marking sort of.
You're pretty right there, Hutto. He's obviously draws the ball towards him, so he's not a real crummer.
Hodge wrestled to the ground by Solomon, held on too long in the tackle. Advantage paid as Dixon kicks towards half forward. Wellman in good position to mark, and he does it very cleverly. A couple of players loose on the wing. Ramanauskas is one of them. Got plenty of time to measure the kick towards Lucas. Doesn't quite get there. Does well to gather it at ground level. Uses Peveril. Kicks into the pocket. Lloyd, one out. He's got it. Snaps goalward. Loose player in the goal square. Justin Murphy bangs it through. So the quick reply to the Hawks and some exquisite play there from the champion full forward Matthew Lloyd.
Just have a look at the strength there. Just holds him off. Little short pass over to Justin Murphy. That is easy.
And that was actually marked by a spectator in the new top deck of the new stand. So that was a very high kick from Justin Murphy. As the Bomber domination continues, the margin back at 80. Everett, some classical ruck work. Pachoni just couldn't get on the end of it, but Hodge with a meaningful handball into space. And Joel Smith, a real chance with an open square to kick a goal for the Hawks. He's worked hard today. Gets the chance to enjoy a goal.
He has worked hard. Had a terrific game on James Hird. And just good to see him finish this one off.
First goal for Joel Smith since round 4. So 3 goals in 2 minutes. 2 to Hawthorn, 1 to the Bombers. Margin at 74 points. Everett gets it to Pachoni. Oh, handball just completely missed the mark. Intercepted by Ramanauskas. Mark Johnson drills it low and hard. Peveril intent on playing on. Loose player inside. Attacking 50 is Jason Johnson, who was in at the centre bounce. Just kept running forward and then got on the end of the Peveril kick. And a chance from 40 metres on a slight angle to get that margin back to 80 points.
One thing they do very well, Essendon, is they make space for each other, and they're happy to sacrifice their space. So one of their teammates is able to get the ball, and this was evident on this occasion. Forwards just holding back.
As you can see, Johnson misses to the right. So margin now 75 points.
And Jason Johnson, the offender of the day. He has missed a set shot. 16 goals, 1 for the day from set shots for the Bombers. A phenomenal record. And Danny Jacobs just pondering why he moved to Hawthorn, I reckon, right at the moment as he looks up at the scoreboard. Everett and Hole on the joint targets, but Henneman beats them both. And he's a Kevin Sheedy favourite, Aaron Henneman. Goes back for Welsh. Possession 13 coming up. Goes wide for Bolton, who's also intruding down from the back line. Forced to work for it in the end by Barker. And well done by Johnny Barker and Lance Pachoni. But the Bombers might have the last laugh yet. Mark Johnson sets it up for full forward and for Matthew Lloyd in the middle of 5 Hawthorn players. He couldn't quite bring it down. He just sneaks away to the goal square. Meantime, the battle for the ball goes on. And the Hawks work it out the back, confronted by Lloyd. But numbers prevailing. Jacobs. Now Bateman, he could go, he does, to Lekas. Loops it over nicely to Osborne. Gets some good support. Kicks somewhat hurriedly onto the wing. And you can see the result of that straight to McPhee. The Bombers reset. Hurd's kick. The leading Lucas. Just making sure we all knew that he took the mark, and it was one worthy of applause.
Well, we just saw the Hawthorn back half. Couldn't find an option up forward. Ended up with James Hird, who got the ball on moving nice and quickly. And Lucas was the man to take the mark inside their forward 50.
He had a big day, 6 marks, 18 possessions, and has kicked a couple of goals.
20 times they've taken marks inside 50 compared to 6 as Dean Rioli Get some help with his boots. Scotty Lucas kicks. His second goal of the afternoon to cap off a great day's third goal, in fact. Maybe Dean Rioli's problem's not with the footwear, but with the foot itself or the ankle.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's a toe or something. I don't.
Yeah.
A lovely kick, Scotty Lucas.
Margin now 81 points. The biggest winning margin by the Bombers over the Hawks at the MCG was back in the 1985 grand final when they thumped the Hawks by 78 points. Bateman long inside attacking 50. Croat at the back, fist from Fletcher. Smith front and centre. Wellman drags it back underneath him. He shovels it out just in the nick of time. Henneman, they fight hard and eventually we get a bounce 35 metres from the Hawthorn goal.
A lot of similarities about that game, as it turned out, with the blue and the scoreboard.
And the Hawks fans still cheering their team on. Great to see. Everett. Welsh, well tackled by Lekas. Hodge couldn't quite find it. Lovett Murray wrestled to the ground and another bounce, this time just 15 metres from the Hawk goal. Leading possession winners on the ground for Hawthorn. Dixon with 19, Bateman 16. Now there's a free kick and it's going Hawthorn's way. And Peter Everett will kick from just 10 metres as there's some pushing and shoving again off the ball. Well, I couldn't say it's off the ball because Andrew Walsh has got the ball and he's right in the middle of it. But it's now ferried back to Everett as we just look at this infringement again. Oh,
it is just bewildering sometimes, isn't it?
Well, technically the arm's over the shoulder, but I agree. You know what?
Not then.
You're too soft. Everett comes in from 15 metres. It's close, but I think he's kicked it. Goal to the Hawks. So Hawthorn, goal number 10.
Have a look at the arm, Henman arm.
Yep, looking.
Over the shoulder. Now, honestly.
There's nothing.
Here's my binoculars. I'll hand them over to you.
Yeah, all right. Makes the TV screen look a bit fuzzy, though, with the binoculars that close. So Peter Everett kicks his second. The Bombers back to a 75-point lead, 10-6 to 22-9. Everett, Solomon. It's a mighty fine-looking Essendon team at the moment. They are certainly up and about. Lucas, 3 for the day and in good form. Jason Johnson generates so much of the ball, so many opportunities. People like Elvey can run onto the end of it and thread through some more goals.
Well, great footy by the Bombers. Good usage by hand. Elvey, always a very good kick for goal and an opportunist.
Nathan Loney at fullback. Long penetrating kick. Jason Johnson on the base and he earns himself a free kick. Kicks it back to the top of the goal square. Lloyd at the sit, couldn't quite complete the mark for Chunny in all sorts of trouble. Gee, he had prior opportunity there. He gets lucky to get a high tackle. He's dancing. Plays on, Smith and Hurd. Smith keeps his feet. Alvey, was he held? No, play on's the call. Joel Smith has been one of Hawthorn's best. Kick toward Ladson. Can't take the mark. Arriving Welsh was driven into the ground. Will get the free kick for a push in the back.
So Welsh across to McPhee as the crowd making some noise, distracted by, I think, a few patrons who are being ejected from the stadium. Wasn't James Hird, was it? He had number 5 on his back.
He did. He has.
He's been tagged closely today, Hird.
It's quite funny for you, Helen.
Gee, thanks, Michael. Jason Johnson up to full forward. Mark Johnson! Air Johnson!
Well, Danny Jacobs, just watch him go for the mark.
He's entitled to go for the mark. He was in front. He was just beaten by the third man up.
A couple of angry defenders next to me here.
You're disputing that?
As Mark Johnson kicks the goal, caps off his great work. That's a goal to the Bombers. That's their 24th of the day. Plenty to enjoy for the supporters. But we've got some great little vision here for you coming up. Watch Justin Murphy here. Mark Williams. Where's the powder in the keg, he says to Mark Williams.
Always has plenty to say, Justin Murphy, out on the ground.
Firing blanks.
But enjoys his footy.
"14 possessions, 2 goals, 1 for Mark Johnson."
Margin the biggest of the afternoon, and that will certainly please Kevin Sheedy. It's been an area of Essendon's game that hasn't been to the required level, finishing sides off, but they've certainly done it this afternoon. They led by 26 points at quarter time, having kicked the first 5 goals of the match. Mini comeback by the Hawks in the second term, but it was still the Bombers by 32 at half time. They led by a whopping 74 at three-quarter time. It's now out to 88. Lovett Murray thumps it forward. Here's another opportunity. Edelman taps it to Solomon. Pokes it inside, attacking 50. McPhee almost just taken off his hands by Jacobs. Brown. He combines with Bateman. He kicks towards Ladson, who marks on his chest on the southern wing. Bachoni towards Smith, who marks in front of Hird. It's been an enthralling battle. Kicks towards Thompson, who's got the sit. Bolton did very well, playing in front, and just takes it over.
It's funny, he was in front there, Bolton.
He'll get a free kick.
He was in front there, Bolton, and he went to spoil.
And we shouldn't be doing that. Are you disputing that? If you're in front, you've got clean air between you and the ball.
Well,
surely you've got to go for your mark.
You go for the mark if you know you're 100% when you're a backman.
Well, but if someone's jumping on top of your shoulders, how
bring
can
it to
you
ground,
control that?
You bring it to ground.
Aren't you meant to be aware of what's around you, Michael?
If you're in front and you've got clean air between you and the ball,
if you know you're under pressure, Michael,
clean air, what do you?
And you've got some awareness around you, you bring the ball to ground.
Well,
if
clean
you know
air, Hutto, is in no player. Kick towards the wing, mark taken by Osborne. Can't believe you meant to be full back of the century. I can't believe you're saying that. Marked by Campbell.
That was last
on the
century,
wing.
though.
Oh, sorry. Kicks towards half forward. Barker. Good strong mark in front of Wellman. Handballs off to Bachoni, who drills the pass onto the chest of Rees, who'll kick from 40 metres directly in front. Nick Rees hasn't had a great day. Just the 4 possessions.
Great spoil there. In front. Brings it to ground. Takes his opponent out of the contest.
Gets the free.
Should have marked it, would have been able to clear it. Rees from 45 metres. Drop punt is pretty good. It's home. No, it just clipped the post. Bad luck. Probably sums up Hawthorn's day. A point only to Nick Rees.
Ramanauskas has got the breaking Matthew Allen. He has been another massive plus for them, hasn't he, this season? He's at the ruck all day, pretty much today, with some help from Henneman. Vandenberg sends it into Osborne. who wants to lay it off. He was inside 50 with the mark.
Well done,
centred it
McPhee.
to McPhee.
He should have punched
He should have
it. He was in
spoiled.
front. Should have punched it away, shouldn't he? He was in front,
Who's
Steve,
that?
wasn't he? McPhee.
He took the grab. He made the right decision.
Exactly. You're changing your mind.
No, I know it.
Solomon.
It's decision making out there, Michael.
Absolutely, Stephen. He was in front. That's why he took the mark. Simple.
Settle down, boys. Mark Johnson's got the ball at half forward.
You should have a hard think. Seriously.
Lloyd and Jacobs. Still Lloyd on his wrong side. Out to Murphy. Couldn't ride the bump successfully. This is Crowd now. Bombs away. Welsh. Only clean air in front of him, so he takes the mark.
Should have punched.
Settle. Switches to Allen. And he goes deep with the kick. Just drops a fraction short, and that's a good mark. Taken by Campbell. Let's get down to Andy Marr, who's got a Hawks supporter with him, I think.
Thanks very much, Hutto. Start of the year, there were such high expectations. How's the Hawthorn supporter base feeling right now?
Look, you know, very disappointed, but at the end of the day, you look to the future. Mitch, when he comes back from that injury today, Hodgie, he's been showing great leadership out there. Obviously, we've got to change some of the older players who maybe have just seen the end of their careers. It's disappointing, some good servants, but I think their time has come. Luke Brennan next week might be a chance, so, you know, just got to...
So disappointed but measured.
Absolutely. I think you've got to recognise that. I think they're trying to do the right thing, and they're just got to put the processes in place to get it right now. And, you know, the supporters are here every week, so just show us something and we'll be happy, you know.
They're actually pretty rational down here, Hutto. Back to you.
Yes, unusual to hear, but Andrew Marr out in amongst the supporters. I guess, you know, there's no point the Hawks fans being hysterical at the moment. The club's in a very, very tough situation as the ball goes over the line and out of bounds. Ian Dicker. I wonder what his approach will be during the week. Can they do anything before the end of the season? Can lift the club again over the top. Barker. Because at the moment the wheels have, well, they've probably already fallen off, but it's just hard to know what approach they can take. They've got lots of injuries.
Oh, well, there's no doubt that Peter Swab would be looking towards his youth. Every youngster on the Hawthorn list, if they show some type of form in the VFL competition, I have no doubt they'll be elevated to play senior football.
Good hands. And out to Vandenberg, who should goal from there. He does.
Good handball there from Dixon, and Vandenberg finishing. And Vandenberg just the 10 possessions today. Stevie hasn't been the player that perhaps Hawthorn needed him to be today.
Yeah, well, hasn't had too much of the ball. Hasn't been alone, though.
So the margin 81 points in favour of the Bombers. Campbell trying to get it towards Paccioni. Couldn't quite control it. He's got it now, but not going too far. And umpire Schmidt calls for it. Hawk fan. Sitting through the final minutes of another drubbing. Henneman beaten by Campbell. Vandenberg, 11th possession. To Bateman, loose player at half forward is Campbell Brown. He pumps it long to the goal square. Thompson going back, well done by Bolton, who tried to mark, couldn't quite hold on in front, and the ball spills over the line for a rush behind to the Hawks. He comes back in. That's a poor kick marked by Paccioni, who again marked in front, and he'll kick from pretty much right on 50 to try and reduce this margin even further. Paccioni's tried pretty hard. He was certainly active in the third quarter. He's had 18 possessions and 6 marks.
Yeah, tried to give him a bit of a lift, but just hasn't had much support.
He kicks short, loose player. Bateman, yes, was just able to hold on. I thought for a moment it had too much on it, but he stuck the mitt up and was able to drag it down, and certainly will kick from a much better position, just 35 metres from goal, and a very slight angle. Good skills here from Chance Bateman.
Yeah, interesting to see the Essendon players looking at each other whose man Bateman was, but if he kicks this Bateman, he squares the quarter up, so a little win for the Hawks.
Comes in and pops it through. One back for Hawthorn. So the margin back to 74 points, as you said, Steve, as it was at three-quarter time, and it did get out to 88, so Hawthorn have kicked the last couple of goals of the match.
Well, I have no doubt Peter Swab at three-quarter time would have said to his players, let's just make sure that we can at least try and square the quarter, win the quarter, because really it's not a good scenario to be in at three-quarter time when you come into the huddle.
And what would Kevin Sheedy be? He'd be disappointed with the final term. Although they certainly have played some fantastic football this afternoon, Essendon. Mark Johnson, another clearance, kick towards half forward. Murphy can't control it. The back a chance for Solomon. Peveril, they're just forcing it forward, the Bombers. And there it is, final siren. And Essendon have thumped Hawthorn here at the MCG. And Hawthorn, having been beaten by 86